Hello, Dave.
Hello.
We can't recognise what synthesizer you've got there because it's
It's upside down. It's
oh,
ta-da!
it's a Roland.
It's a Roland SH1oh1. But this isn't about mending this time. This is about adding a mod, which is the SH1oh1, spelt 10H1, by Tech, I think his name is. And it's brilliant.
So what is it?
It's a replacement for the processor chip. So it doesn't affect the actual sound at all. It still sounds exactly like it did. And the great thing about it is that if you just use your SH1oh1 the same as you always did, you wouldn't even know it was there.
Right.
It's only when you start playing with it, it gets exciting. It adds full MIDI control. You can store up to 3220 note sequences. There's endless things it will do. It adds accent, which you can either program in or using an external velocity sensitive keyboard. It just goes on and on.
And is it difficult to
it's not an absolute beginner's job, but it's not that tricky. It's the hardest part is taking out the old processor. That's the old one. So you've got to take out this board and unsolder it from the underneath. That's probably the hardest job.
Okay.
You need I always use this one of these, which that's a solder sucker, and you actually heat up your solder and suck it out.
That looks like something my dentist uses.
With this, it might be easier to. You can also get something called desoldering wick, which is like a copper braid that will soak up the solder. But yes, once you've taken it out, if you take it out carefully, because they're not that cheap. It's they work out about 200 quid. But you could probably get, as long as you get it out in one piece, you can probably get at least 50 quid for that on eBay.
Oh, okay.
So if you can reduce the cost a bit.
But it gives the synth a whole new.
It gives it a whole new life.
Right.
It's yes. Once you've taken out the old one, this comes with a socket, and you solder in the socket. You can just plug it in. When you're soldering in the socket, it doesn't matter which way round it goes, but it'll have a notch in it, like the chip has. So it's usually the done thing to make sure that notch is the same end as the original was. So right. then you know which way round it goes. Apart from that, there's just 4 wires to solder. There's one that goes onto the board under there. One attaches to this transistor here. One there and one over here. So there's just 4 little wires to connect. And it comes, those will come on these neat little plugs that just plug on here. Like that, so they then just go on to the end of your chip. It also comes with fully wired up MIDI in and out sockets that just slot on there. Now it comes with a pattern, so you can drill holes in your case, or it says you can just put them in the battery compartment. I've actually done it differently, because all these have got these two sockets there for a modulation grip that no one's got. So I've just opened out that hole a bit and put in two stereo 3.5 millimeter mini jack sockets. So you can use the same kind of breakout cables as you get with the Korg SH1oh1 sequencer, which are quite easy to find and cheap, and it saves making big holes in everything.
Yeah, drilling holes in a
holes in this
expensive.
Yeah,
synthesis.
yes, it's not the best of plastics to drill holes in,
Yeah.
so it's a bit on the fragile side.
It just goes against the grain, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, having your sockets floating about loose in the back there, it just doesn't seem right somehow.
No.
But yeah, that's an easy thing to do. All I've done with the original modulation thing, I've not unwired it, I've just taped it up so it doesn't short against anything, and it just tucks in there. So if ever I did want to change it, it's easy to put back.
So safe to say that you're impressed.
I am very impressed with this. I won't go into all of its details now because well, there are better YouTube videos out there that show you exactly what it does. But yes, it's and to be honest, I've only had it in there a few days and I haven't tried it all yet. It's there are all kinds of other extras, like there's extra envelopes and LFOs for the filter. There's a separate clock for the it'll divide MIDI clocks and internal clocks, and there's a separate clock for the random sample and hold. There's just an awful lot it'll do. So yes, if you've got some spare dosh, get one.
And obviously Roland have done a new SH1oh1.
Yes, there's a new kind of mini SH1oh1 that sadly doesn't really sound like an SH1oh1, but this with the mod is actually better. It's you still got the real SH1oh1 sound, but you've got even more MIDI and sequencing capabilities. Yes, I'm very impressed with it indeed.
Okay, so let's show us what it can do.
Right, this is a few of the things it can do. But like I say, playing it normally, it sounds just like it did. But you can actually assign a sequence to either one, to every key. It's ongoing. The arpeggio settings work on sequences as well, so you can have up down or up and down. But there's also, if you press those two together, the down and the up and down together, it plays at random, which is great fun. There's also a sub-menu. There are two sub-menus where you can adjust various things. There is a bit of a learning curve there. But for instance, if you hold down those two, hold and key transpose, that takes you into the sub-menu. You've got two sub-menus, one on up and one on up and down. But this one, you can affect various things like the accent. If you hold down that and press that, you can set how deep the accent goes. And this one sets your volume accent level, which you won't really hear through that. This one here sets the accent length. whoops, I have to take it out of that. So that sets the that's what most of what goes on with the sequencer.
So you have to learn
You've got
which,
you do,
what,
yes, it shouldn't take long, but that's all controllable over MIDI as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And on this, it's actually, I think it's, I wouldn't swear to this, but I think it's more controllable over MIDI, because doing it this way, you get it takes it up and down in 16 steps using the first part of the keyboard, whereas I think it's more variable over MIDI. The accent control, if you use an external keyboard, it also becomes velocity sensitive, so that the harder you hit, the more accent you get. There are several other things I've not actually investigated yet that are only available over MIDI. There's an extra envelope and an extra triangular LFO just for the filter that's independent of everything else. There's an extra independent clock you can use for the random sample and hold. No end of other things, but there are some proper demonstration YouTube videos that do it much better than me, because they've actually played with one for more than an evening. Yes, it's there's all kinds of things to explore there.
Great. Well, we'll leave it to the experts in the demo world to show how to use.
Yeah.
Should we play out with a sequence?
Yeah. Where were we?
Maybe sneeze.